Chapter 1. The Unseen Thread. Dr. David Reed stood alone in his dimly lit laboratory, his piercing green eyes glued to the screen of his laptop. The room was filled with the hum of machines and the scent of chemicals, but David was oblivious to it all, lost in the data before him. He had always been a loner, preferring the company of his thoughts and experiments over human interaction. As a scientist, David had dedicated his life to understanding the world around him, analyzing and dissecting every aspect of reality. He was driven by an insatiable curiosity and an innate desire to unlock the mysteries of existence. It was this passion that led him to the brink of a discovery that would shake the foundations of everything he knew. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, David began to notice a strange pattern in his research. It was a subtle thread, hidden beneath the surface of the data, that seemed to hint at something more. But as hard as he tried, he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Undeterred, David continued his investigation, delving deeper into the unknown. He spent countless hours in his lab, sifting through mountains of information and conducting experiments that pushed the limits of his understanding. And as he worked, the pieces slowly began to fall into place. In the quiet moments of solitude, David would ponder the nature of reality and the limits of human knowledge. He found himself haunted by questions that seemed to have no answers, and he was consumed by a growing sense of unease. As the nights grew longer and the shadows in his lab seemed to grow darker, David found himself drawn ever closer to the heart of the mystery. The patterns he had noticed began to form a cohesive picture, revealing an unseen force at work in the world around him. The more he uncovered, the more convinced he became that there was something fundamentally different about the universe he inhabited. Despite his growing sense of unease, David pressed on, propelled by his relentless curiosity and a gnawing suspicion that there was something hidden from the eyes of humanity. As he pieced together the clues, he began to form a theory that would challenge everything he thought he knew about the nature of existence. But it was not without risks. With each step closer to the truth, David felt the weight of his discoveries bearing down on him. He knew that knowledge was a dangerous commodity, and the deeper he delved, the more precarious his position became. In his relentless pursuit, David started to notice strange occurrences that he couldn't quite explain. Hushed whispers in the hallways, fleeting shadows in the corner of his eye, and an inexplicable feeling of being watched haunted his every step. Paranoia began to take root in his mind, fueled by his growing awareness of the unseen world that lurked beneath the surface of reality. David stood on the precipice of a monumental discovery, one that would shake the very foundation of his understanding. With his heart pounding in his chest, he input the final sequence into his laptop, waiting for the results that would confirm or deny his suspicions. The screen flickered to life, and as the data streamed across the display, David's eyes widened in shock. The truth was more incredible, more terrifying than he could have ever imagined. The universe he knew was not what it seemed, and the very fabric of reality was woven with secrets beyond his wildest dreams. As the implications of his findings washed over him, he could barely contain the excitement and dread that coursed through his veins. David's hands trembled as he reached for his phone, compelled to share his discovery with the world. But even as he dialed the number, he hesitated, unsure of the consequences that awaited him. The knowledge he had uncovered was powerful, and with it came a responsibility he had never anticipated. As he stood there, torn between his desire to reveal the truth and the fear of what that truth might bring, he finally made a decision. The world needed to know, and he would be the one to tell them. He pressed the call button, and as the phone rang, he took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. The line connected, and a familiar voice answered on the other end. With his heart in his throat, David began to speak, his voice barely a whisper as he uttered the words that would change everything. "The universe. It's not what we thought. There's something hidden, something different. I found it. I found the key that unlocks the truth." As the words left his lips, a shiver ran down his spine, and he knew that there was no turning back. The world as he knew it was about to be shattered, and a new chapter in the story of humanity was about to begin. And as a chapter of his own journey came to an end, the weight of his discovery and the uncertainty of what lay ahead hung heavy in the air, leaving him with a sense of trepidation and awe that would forever alter the course of his life. The cosmic orchestra swelled, an ethereal melody weaving its way through the fabric of reality, as if the universe itself was beckoning the viewer. The screen shimmered, as though ready to unveil the hidden truths, inviting those who dared to delve into the unknown. The Bionic Writing Lab's logo emerged, pulsating with the energy of secrets yet to be revealed. As the music faded, an invitation appeared on the screen. Join us on this journey of discovery. Subscribe to Bionic Writing Lab and uncover the truth Dr. David Reed has unearthed. Witness how his findings will forever change not only humanity, but the entirety of reality. A sense of urgency laced with curiosity permeated the message, daring the viewer to take the plunge and unravel the enigma. The screen dissolved into a mesmerizing kaleidoscope of colors, a swirling vortex of galaxies and stars, beckoning the viewer into the hidden realms of knowledge. Shadows danced across the cosmic backdrop, hinting at the mysteries that lay in wait, as whispers of the unknown called out from the depths of the universe. As the final notes of the celestial symphony drifted away, the screen faded to black, leaving behind the echoes of a world transformed, a reality forever altered by the revelations of Dr. David Reed. The journey was just beginning, and the universe had chosen its messengers. All that remained was for the viewer to answer the call and embrace the destiny that awaited them within the Bionic Writing Lab.